You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move to the built-in speakers and come off of my Bluetooth headphones.
Okay.
Now, how are you hearing? How are you
Hey, can
sounding?
you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Hopefully, we got some feedback on the chat. Hopefully, you can be heard now that I went
Yeah.
off.
If anybody can say yes or no, I'm just going to continue
Hopefully
to
the
pretend
audio's
that you
better and
can.
you can come through right now. What a bummer. Apologize on the audio issues. We will get this figured out. I was hoping that moving to my Bluetooth headphones would prevent a feedback issue, but what it did was complicate you coming through on the Zoom. So if this fixed it, if we get a feedback finding out if this fixed, let you talk, brother. Go ahead and go back to.
Okay. Yeah, I should try talk just to test it. Yeah. If hopefully this fixes it. But what we were talking about was this article where we see that Sotheby's, the auction clearinghouse, they're notorious and historically, very famous company. They auction art and all kinds of rare items, and they're accepting they're accepting crypto. It looks like here 12 million, and that's notable because it's just another example of institutions adopting and interacting with cryptocurrency in a way that has not we haven't seen before. So this is novel. This is a massive auction house that's saying we trust this new monetary system. We'll accept it for diamonds. So it's something to think about. It's like if you're on the outside waiting to get in, and you see that the Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan and all these other critics are now jumping in, and you got Sotheby's and whole nation states are adopting it. So it should give you pause and to think maybe I'm not. Maybe this criticism is overblown. Maybe there is something to this this new investment asset.
Well, like you said, this is huge. So this is again that long-term fundamental, and this is also going to get into when we talk about NFTs and the future rise that NFTs have in blockchain and in crypto. Because as you know, Sotheby's they're not just famous for auctioning off diamonds. In fact, um, they're quite known for their art collection and a lot of other
Mm-hmm.
things. So, and I believe they were in the news earlier this year for the first NFT that was sold on Sotheby's. So we're looking at more this interoperability, this huge bridge being drawn between traditional markets and the digital asset NFT blockchain technology. And you know what? Since we just fixed our audio, brother, thank you
Mm-hmm.
very much, Jeff. In fact, actually, I have to give this shout out. We're gonna cut and edit, and we'll start from the beginning real quick and just say, welcome to Wise Beyond Bitcoin, where you come to understand more about the economic impact and potential of blockchain technology. That's why you come to Wise Beyond Bitcoin. My name's Lucas.
And my name is Ryan. Hope you can hear me.
Yeah, and we have pardon for the audio issues. We're getting better and better every day. I had Bluetooth headphones that I was using to prevent feedback, but in so doing, I have not yet figured out how to keep other people's audio working on Zoom. So we're going back the old school way. But we were starting with a market recap. We didn't miss much beyond this awesome announcement with what's going on at Sotheby's. I do want to do a shout out because a good friend over at Apocalypse Art Club, which you got if you're starting to learn about NFTs and you want to know, I don't want to say what's hot, but what's beautiful and what has some beautiful potential and what's just beginning. ApocalypseArtClub.com is where it's at, and I do have a vested interest because I'm a supporter of Jeff, his artwork, and the program. But you got to check it out yourself because look at this. He's been making beautiful artwork long before NFTs were a thing. This artwork, he's been making just beautiful spiritual artwork to be a light in dark times, and supports a charity project that helps schools and children all over the world. So you got to check out the social impact because every transaction of his artwork goes to support what we've talked about, mutual aid groups and charity. But the artwork is beautiful. When you it's a club, it's a little community, and when you acquire one of these rare NFTs, you become a part of. Oh, okay. There's my disclosure right there. There's a picture of me. But when you join and you're a part of a little club that's an ecosystem, a whole world is being developed around this art. So it's really exciting. Check out the website and how to join. I mean, it's just a beautiful apocalypseartclub.com. I will leave a link in the description, but it was Jeff, the artist behind this, was giving a little shout out and said, hey, Lucas, you might want to fix things because nobody can hear Ryan right now. And I am like the loud carnival, kind of, the hey everyone come here, and then I direct them to Ryan with the knowledge and the information. So to have you not being heard, that's like a whole half of the scissors not working on the cut.
Right. That's true. What's up, Jacob?
What up?
It's good to see you coming on. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing good. Having some trouble with my internet, but I got it up.
Good.
We had some audio problems, so you're in good company.
You're in good company, and you're in good time. And I'm doing my plug. I have yet to do. I'm going to do a video series here shortly. I was a little, say, under the weather. Ate something, and for a few days I was out, and it slowed me down this week. But I'm about to do a video series to teach people how to purchase NFTs and get a little MetaMask and use Opensea. But Opensea.io is where you can see all the NFTs on the Ethereum network. Anyone who's got an NFT, you can plug in their address and check it out. And you can also check out artists and what they have in their collections. So I urge you to take a look.
Very cool.
But yeah, let's get right to
it.
So yeah, Jeff was like, hey, Lucas, I can't hear Ryan. What's going on here? And that's how we were able to get things fixed up. So it's nice. Thank you, Jeff.
Yes, that was crucial.
What was our little update? We were just talking about the market, and it's always nice when we pop in on a Monday and see green, and it's like, oh, it's beautiful to see this, 10%, 5% in a day, these huge jumps. But realistically, it's not normal to see this consistent parabolic growth. It's always it's normal to see pullbacks and corrections that take weeks of consolidation, that take a few months, so seeing that we're in this area,
that phase,
seeing that we're in this phase, it's comforting. I mean, it's nice. I'm kind of,
I say it's comforting about it is that we're in a correction phase and we're looking at mid 30s on Bitcoin and $2,000 ETH, so it's like, we're in a correction phase, and that these come, but we're at such a great level compared to where we were at just 2 years ago, year and a half ago, that there's no reason to be upset. And it's clear that this is not just a flash in the pan, temporary thing, where a tulip mania kind of thing, where people are just irrational and running out and bidding up assets that are going to crash to zero.
Right.
I mean, there might be some that do on the obscure low cap side, sure, but in general, the space is maturing and finding a bottom at $33,000 on Bitcoin. That's showing. That's very optimistic. That's very heartening and encouraging, as long with the overall institutional development that's happening with it.
Oh yeah, I think with institutional adoption, we're going to start seeing assets decouple from Bitcoin, and you'll see different sectors of the market be affected differently within crypto.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, with the DeFi and the second layers and everything. I think you're right about that. Polygon is a space that I'm very happy to be involved in.
They're still in the news on a regular basis, Polygon, and I like what I heard about them recently. The whole second layer solutions. It's there's so much room for crypto adoption that even they get clogged, even their networks get clogged. It's not like just moving to a second layer solves all problems. There is room for multiple second layer solutions. There's room for Ethereum. I was even hearing it being explained how there's room for Ethereum to both move to proof of stake and still need layer solutions. It's not like once Ethereum moves to proof of stake, oh look, there's no need for Polygon anymore. It's like, no, absolutely not. There's, and you guys know how we've seen how volatile the market can be with even the little amount of volume that's come in. Imagine worldwide adoption. Imagine
exactly You look at the amount of transactions Visa and MasterCard and all those credit card processors they go through every day. And then think about doing that on the blockchain, what the gas fees would look like. And it's, there's going to be room for as many solutions as we can throw at this problem.
Totally. I don't want to stay. I don't want to stay on this page too long, but seeing red in the market, it's normal. If you've been in crypto for a while, this is just part and parcel. It's part of the game. It's nice. It'll be here for a while. I wouldn't be surprised to see us go back down and kind of test the lows again once or twice more, and whether we're here
it'll be brief.
It'll be brief, and whether we're here for a couple weeks or a couple months. In the grand scheme, I don't see it being that long-lived, right? There's way too much fundamental, there's way too much support worldwide to maintain. I mean, if we're looking at these levels trending right now, these prices staying in this range with, let's get to it, a lot of the other bullish news like this you mentioned earlier, okay? Let's just go right to El Salvador finds a secret door to Bitcoinization, dual legal tender. So previously they were trying to announce Bitcoin was a legal tender and they were getting a lot of backlash. And so now the story is, well, wait a minute. Instead of trying to fight for a new legal tender, they can just ease this one alongside and allow for,
Yeah, the problem is that there was the problem with Bitcoin being legal tender and replacing the dollar or any other fiat just automatically right now is there's it's the network effects aren't there. It's high volatility. The fees are high. The transactions are slow. There's really obvious things that are keeping it from being like a legal tender. But this is where the brilliance this article is worth reading if you're into monetary theory and follow and maybe remember hearing about the bimetallic standard that existed in our history or if you're familiar with Gresham's law or any of these concepts in economics dealing with dual currencies, this article would be fascinating for you. But essentially the point is that by the people were stuck on how to make this happen. How are we going to make Bitcoin work for us, right? And they stumbled upon this old concept called dual tender, or in the past we would have called it bimetallism, silver and gold. But now we're past that. So we're just thinking about dual tender. But the idea is that if Bitcoin and the dollar are both legal tender, and if there's an agreement and a facility to immediately transition Bitcoin into dollars, right? For the person who you're a vendor and you make a sale, and you receive Bitcoin, and you're worried about it fluctuating, right? You're worried that the price might fall and you might lose some of some of the money that you have received for your goods, and you got to pay your suppliers, you got to pay your labor, you got to keep the thing going, so you can't really be losing money on currency exchange fluctuations, right? That's dangerous. So if there's this facility they've created where people who get Bitcoin immediately can cash out into dollars on their phone, and with very low transaction costs, and you can read the article to talk about how that's set up. But essentially, they've solved the problem of the high fees and the low the low speeds, the transfer speeds taking a long time, the volatility. They've solved this with this dual legal tender, and they've created a system where people who want to have Bitcoins can hold them, and then people who don't feel confident can immediately cash out. So it kind of gets around the need to have everybody in one system. It's a dual system, right? And you can move between them seamlessly. So it's really a crazy innovation in the sense that it's a modern problem that they're solving with an old school concept, and it really, I think, shines a light forward for how the whole world can move forward with crypto. It doesn't need to be either or. We can make it an and of fiat and crypto, and let them be share the same. Let them share the sandbox, as it were.
I dig it.
And over time, I feel like the freer systems will win out.
Now, did you read the mechanism, how El Salvador is basically doing a buyback to make it easy, and that if people want to not keep their purchases in Bitcoin, that the government basically has this third party that will cash it out, and the government will hold the Bitcoin?
Right, I saw that, yeah.
which goes to
Strike.
yeah, through Strike. So it just
Yeah.
goes to show that a lot of these institutions, whether they be corporate or political or government, their protocol is to hold the Bitcoin.
Right. They're not upset about holding Bitcoin.
Notice how they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll cash out for you and we'll be the custodian of the Bitcoin. All of them work it out to where they hodl the Bitcoin and they give you the fee.
But in that article, it does say that Strike does give you the ability to cash out to a
Totally.
wallet.
Totally, they give you that option.
So
yeah.
That is cool. You know, when I read that, I was like, well, then this will work. This isn't a scam.
No, not in a scam at all. No, I just mean how bullish it is when you've got the state saying, no, we don't mind holding Bitcoin at all. By all means, that's what we're keeping our assets denominated in. So no, this is big news, but it's connected to, because it's kind of like a domino tipping the scales, but it's not just El Salvador. Actually, Paraguay. And let's just see what articles pop up. Jacob, have you heard about this? I think this is like in the last 24, 48 hours. Have you heard about now Paraguay being another country jumping on?
No, I haven't. So now it's El Salvador and Paraguay. There's two now.
Now look, on July 14th, lawmakers in Paraguay will introduce a Bitcoin bill. So this is 2 days ago. This was just published. So Paraguay is just another country embracing, and that's the whole point. It's like, oh shucks, this page has been blocked. No, here we go. On July 14th, lawmakers in Paraguay will introduce a Bitcoin bill. El Salvador's move to adopt Bitcoin as legal cash in June looks to be pushing politicians around the region to begin investigating their own cryptocurrency approach. Paraguay is the next country to pass crypto-related laws. I just pulled this article up. This looks so.
I don't think it's ironic that we're seeing this happening in El Salvador and in Paraguay and in Latin American countries in general, because they have been on the receiving end of so much dollar inflation over the years that why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't they be some of the first, right?
And you're right. And here's the meek shall inherit the earth. It's beautiful to see people. In the U.S., or if you're in countries that had banking systems that were more mature in the traditional financial market, you didn't see a need for this new model. Even though the technology is still more sound, people are like, well, I don't need it because I've got access to credit and I've got access to banks, and I don't see the importance of this. Well, there are a lot of other people around the world who because of how fragile the system is, and that they didn't have the same access. So it is beautiful to see people around the world embracing this technology and paving the way in that regard. Look, check this out. The congressman, I'm here to unite Paraguay. That is why we decided with Senator whatever to present together the bill, Bitcoin, on Wednesday. So stay tuned. For Paraguay and the world, something giant is coming. We'll see. It could just be a hype, could just be an announcement. But regardless of whether or not the bill gets passed, the fact that you've got politicians now passing pro-Bitcoin legislation to bring wealth and stability into their nation, that's pretty exciting stuff. That's pretty cool. I'm a fan.
I would agree. With that for sure.
I just can't wait till more countries start adopting.
Yeah, and let's see here. Speaking of countries and surfing the internet, Jacob, you popped up something a little bit about this Indigitus decentralized web router. Could you explain a little bit? What have you found?
Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure if you guys are familiar with the Deeper network, but essentially this is a device much like the Deeper network. It works the same way by allocating a portion of your upstream bandwidth, so that way you can run this device as a server. But the unique thing about this device is it's not a firewall. It is a firewall, a router, a modem. It is 3 devices in one.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
This is an all-in-one internet-protected device. So if your grandma wanted decentralized, secure internet and access to a VPN that's decentralized,
It could all be built into one product.
all into one product.
Plug and play, I'm sure.
Now check this out.
Oh, yeah.
Check this out. Gain access to handshake websites.
There you go.
Yo.
That's right. And weren't they the ones? Remind me that we're trying to replace the domain assignment service, right? That kind of is the backbone. For
Moving
the
it to the blockchain.
And moving it to the blockchain. That's right.
So instead of it being .com, .org, .whatever, Handshake would be you own .ryan, whatever. You can purchase and own it, and it's on the blockchain, just like Unstoppable
Right.
Domains allows you to purchase .crypto.zil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got it.
Handshake is a whole nother level that we did some research on. It's not access right now. It's not easy to acquire yet. There's not that not many gateways
for U.S. residents.
I don't believe so yet. But if you look at what Handshake is, the token, what it represents, well, shucks.
Let's go check it out.
Let's go check it out.
That's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
But
I think that's a cool. All in all, that's a very cool device. I've been looking and wanting to get a router VPN combo.
Oops.
What's really cool about it is it's also a miner, so it actually mines you crypto while it's working.
See,
Okay.
and that's what's really cool about this is that it's the modem, it's the router, it mines, and look, the HNS Handshake websites. That's kind of cool, man. I think it's kind of neat that it's creating basically a whole new layer, a whole new web, a whole new web.
It's creating a big time privacy layer, which is what the web needs. It needs decentralization and privacy.
Oh yeah.
More than anything, right?
So let's see if I can easily find it somewhere up close to the top. That's the problem. These it's easier to go to like CoinMarketCap or Nomics and then go from there to find out their website. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So if you want to know more, and that's what's, by the way, when people want to know about how to do due diligence on projects, one of the things I like to look for is partnerships. I like to look for overlapping layers where you see companies are actually working with other companies or teams are working with other teams. And when, like, just like this, we've looked at Handshake, and that's come across in the past, and now you're looking at a project, a decentralized VPN modem project, and they are literally working with Handshake. So that's
definitely it gives them legitimacy because they're working with an established product player.
So we'll leave that.
By the way, everyone who's watching this, you're still early on this. This doesn't launch until I believe October or autumn.
Wow.
If you scroll down, it should say so right on the.
Okay, yeah, join the launch. I see that.
Where does it say that?
It doesn't say the date, but I see it says join the launch.
Governments and Web2 platforms telling us what we can and cannot see and use. We are grown ups. We can handle it. Yeah, just on a good old-fashioned handshake, right?
There it is. August 2020.
Okay,
Launching soon. Yeah, but still, it's still in the future. So if you want to know whether or not you're early, I mean, you're definitely early to crypto, but you're really, really early to the launch of Indigitus. So that's cool. And am I right, brother, that this is going along with it?
Yup, so Sentinel is actually their VPN service that they're using, and what's cool is you can use the Sentinel VPN service now. And I've looked into it, and they have a ton of stellar reviews. If you actually look on the App Store, they have it on like the Google App Store.
Now this is cool. They're building on Cosmos network and Tendermint, which Cosmos is a cryptocurrency that I find I'm bullish on. It's one of the many projects that I think you should be looking at. If you're looking at diversifying into a lot of the different projects, I would say Cosmos is definitely on a list.
I'm curious, can you pay for your VPN subscription with the coins you've mined? Or is that...
I'm not sure how that's going to work.
Okay.
I'm waiting for them to have more information in their Telegram. I'm trying to wait for like an AMA or something. I have a lot of questions.
Right. Well, we'll figure that out as time goes on. But I think that actually to me is one of the layers of decentralized VPNs that I really value. Is if I have to put my credit card number to pay for your product, then how, you know, how really or how anonymous am I really? Right?
A lot of them give you crypto options.
Exactly. There you go. But to be able to mine the payment, to me, that's really cool.
That's cool.
But that may or may not be this. So I don't want to, put that out there.
That's a beautiful find, man. Jacob, thank you very much for bringing that to the table. If you enjoy receiving the latest and greatest about blockchain technology and crypto, hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, and subscribe. And also send a little comment saying thank you to Jacob, because I was not going to share this with you at all. This is all Jacob Garcia. No, man.
Oh, yeah. This is all about DD. Do your due diligence. You'll find them.
Yeah, none of this is financial advice. It's just educational information. But I'm going to say, brother, good find, because if you guys want to know, other than like cryptocurrency and digital money, this is a huge, huge innovative space of blockchain technology. And the reason I went back to the market cap is because, you see Bitcoin, Ethereum is a smart contract platform. Hex is built on Ethereum. Cardano, another smart contract platform. We've got a bunch of stable coins. There's, of course, the Doge meme coin. Polkadot, a beautiful decentralized network for smart contracts. But when you look at what's out there, there's not a lot. You see what I'm saying? Like, once you really break down what's out there, you can fit things into categories. Stable coins, smart contracts, privacy tokens, blah, 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 NFTs. And it's nice to know the variety. Who are the people innovating in the market using blockchain technology? Now we come back to, well, what's so cool? Pardon me. What's so cool about Indigitus, about this find, and what's so cool about Sentinel? I mean, these are some of the most innovative uses of blockchain technology. This is literally taking the power of the web, of the internet, back from centralized servers, and using the security of blockchain and the power of people who secure the network to be able to enjoy the benefits, receive the benefits directly for providing that security. That this is what blockchain is all about. This is just another. I would
You're
say.
Right.
And
it's kind of the building blocks of what they call it's not Web 3.0. Is that I'm probably using that
kind of. I would say so.
That's what I'm trying to get to is like the new web. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like building.
And like you said, we got to continue to talk about this, but many people, we pull that article. In fact, I guess maybe now's time to get to it after this. But many people are focusing on the get rich quick of cryptocurrency markets and digital assets, but forgot or maybe are unaware of the purpose and potential of this technology in the first place. It's as far as the liberating potential and the creative destruction. So it's important to understand that. Then you'll understand the importance of having a decentralized virtual private network. Of course, we want to be able to maintain people to have private networks and communication in a world of ultimate transparency and public ledgers where everything can be tracked and everyone can see that. That's beautiful, but that gives us even more need for promoting an ability for people to maintain privacy in this world, not into that Orwellian Minority Report kind of, the benevolent leader class is here to monitor everything. That's kind of.
Well, you're right, because as we move to the blockchain, if we're not careful about privacy, we could end up inadvertently recreating this kind of panopticon. I love that word.
I do too.
It's a financial panopticon. We don't want to build that.
No.
Privacy is important. And if you don't know what a panopticon is, Google it, because it's a cool concept to be aware of.
It's creepy.
It's creepy.
It's a creepy cool.
Look that up, because that's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it for you.
Opticon. Yeah. It's a prison style. It's a style of designing prisons so that the center can see all whatever he's doing in every cell.
There we go. Press. Oh yeah. There we go. Panopticon. There you go.
Yeah.
It's old
concept.
By the sociologist Jeremy Isn't he the one? Bentham?
Bentham, yes.
Yeah.
He's very famous.
Isn't he the guy that was like embalmed and is like kept preserved? Like you can go see Bentham. Or...
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Little history lesson.
The picture is important if you want to click on that.
You're right. Not the definition. What's important really is the picture.
It's the visual. Yeah.
Yeah, the visual. Here we
captures it all.
Did you see that?
That's Panopticon.
The Panopticon.
Pan means all seeing.
Like panoramic view. Like
yeah, panoramic view.
See, I was like panoramic, and then that's it, where everyone is. And they built a couple. Wasn't one built? Like I'm sure. Yeah, they did. They built these.
Modern prisons today are built on this concept. You see that? There's a picture of one right there on the right.
It's true.
That's a modern. That looks like a modern prison.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Everything he's saying is true.
We don't want to recreate that in the financial world.
No, okay, let's get out of here. Get out of here.
Too dark.
Too dark.
Yeah. But yeah, this article was fascinating. You sent this to me, Lucas.
Yeah.
About the reset.
The great cryptocurrency reset, which talked a lot about the beginning of Nakamoto's vision and what was wrong, born from the 2008 financial bubble and the corruption of the bailouts, and seeing how the financial markets, just seeing how corrupt they were. And, that's a lot of the story of why Bitcoin was created, and cryptocurrency influencers were people who are looking at it as a revolutionary economic tool, right?
Right.
That's how it began. And over time, what we're looking at now, when you hear people talk about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, it's more of like this hot new investment topic. It's more of what's
and then there's a crypto elite that I like that it gets into that it has arisen. Right.
In fact, the new power,
a new series, set of gatekeepers essentially.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I thought there was a lot of merit to these points, to these different passages, but I thought it was a little bit overemphasized, but definitely problems worth speaking about. So let me find here. Oh yeah, this section about freedom porn. We should talk about that. I'll read the quote. No, except there's one small problem with these narratives. None are coming true or have played out in reality. Instead, they have matured into carefully constructed fictions, disguising how Bitcoin has failed at almost everything Nakamoto set out to achieve. Since the crypto ecosystem keeps blurting out a non-stop stream of freedom porn, we failed to notice that the crypto movement, though it started out with good intentions, has gradually mutated into the same aggressive paradigm that existing elites have promoted for decades. That's kind of like a good summary of the entire article. And I would say, okay, yeah, to some degree, sure, but not completely. I mean, I don't want to bring up Polygon again, but look at Polygon, right? That's a huge that's a huge innovation in the crypto world, and it's not about gatekeeping anybody, and it's not about it's set up to have cheap gas fees on all your transactions. So I mean, yeah, there's yield farms that might not be the best investment, right? That kind of mimic the fractional reserve banking and Ponzi scheme that this talks about right there, but that's just one section, right? And there's other sections of the crypto space that don't meet this criticism. So I feel like I think it's just a little too. It's what he says is not wrong, but it's not the whole story. Is kind of my take on this.
Well, I guess my take would be, it's kind of two halves to a coin. You could talk about the Ponzi schemes that are going on within crypto and the flaws that are within certain chains, but it doesn't emphasize crypto as a whole. A flaw in Bitcoin isn't a flaw in cryptocurrency as a whole. Case in point, even if Bitcoin has a flaw, immutable smart contracts built on Ethereum like Wise token, it's going to be operating like day one. It's not going to change. And
right.
That's just one of the things, the innovations that have been built along the blockchain, not including
smart contracts that are self-executing and aren't able to be hacked or changed by one of the parties. Yeah, that's a notable innovation. For sure.
Yeah.
Which is so notable. They're working to build that on top of. They're trying to build that on top of the Bitcoin network, which we'll see down the road how Rootstock and RSK, how that all that stuff works. But no, I mean, you're right. The reality is that if Bitcoin has a flaw in that its transaction can't handle the whole population, well, that's why we have layer twos. That's why we have other cryptos that can handle higher throughput. If it doesn't promote privacy transactions, that's why we've got other chains where you can transact privately on and not use Bitcoin for that. So Bitcoin isn't meant to be the one all be all, the panacea for crypto. It's meant to be the beginning. It's the foundation upon which the whole blockchain economy is built. And that's what I still stand on. The more you understand blockchain and crypto, you recognize that we would not have all of these others without Bitcoin. Bitcoin proves the validity of blockchain. So long as the Bitcoin network is secure, crypto is secure. And even if, so here's the deal. Let's say we find out that Harmony won, or we find out that name insert crypto, that they were hacked, they had a flaw, and all their users get, whatever. Is that going to take the whole crypto market down? No, it's going to take them down because they are an iteration after Bitcoin trying to make an improvement. Now, let me tell you this. If it comes out that Bitcoin ledger technology is flawed and can easily be hacked and no longer is that some secure, that will devastate the whole market, because the whole cryptocurrency digital asset market is built on this being a secured network, a viable option. So Bitcoin is the proof. It's the proof of concept that is the foundational value layer upon which the whole digital economy can be built. It is never meant to be the whole digital economy.
Right.
It's never
the
meant.
only one. Right.
I don't think any crypto will be the one all end all crypto. They're all going to serve their purposes, and they're all going to be different in this space. You're just like businesses. They're going to have different goals and visions.
I agree with that for sure. I would like to highlight this one thing in that article you pulled up.
Oh yeah, bring it out.
It's about El Salvador. I'll just read it, but it's halfway down. It says, if you're a hardcore crypto maximalist, you'll perceive El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption as a liberation, a way for citizens to free themselves from the U.S. empire and its allies. The opposing view, however, is that this is another episode of blockchain colonialism. If the Bitcoin revolution embodies freedom and liberty, you don't set up shop in a developing country, become best buddies with their autocratic leader, and together force people onto a monetary system they have no power to oppose or flee. Well, my response to that is, this must have been written before the dual legal tender innovation was figured out, because if there's a dual tender, then you're not forced on anything, and you have the power to oppose it or flee it. You just cash out. So immediately, right? So you're never in Bitcoin. So but the broader point that I want to highlight is that it says that you don't set up shop in a developing country. I would disagree. Developing countries are where the monetary institutions are the most undeveloped and the weakest, the most unstable. So it's where the need for an alternative is the greatest.
And
right?
and hold on a second. If you're looking for growth potential in returns,
developing countries,
where's going to be the highest amount of growth?
Or if you're a utilitarian and you're concerned about doing the greatest good,
or doing the greatest good,
where do you go? You go where the need's the greatest, right?
Yeah.
Where there's the most poverty, where there's the most instability and corruption, right? So any way you look at it, I feel like the point is just not good. He should reverse that and say, developing countries are where you want to go.
Of course. This is that whole, the meek shall inherit the earth aspect. I love that you have developing countries in countries that were forced to use other legal tenders.
Now having an option.
And being the first to pave the way with using this option, this brand new technology that, other people, you can't ignore it. I mean, as far as
and also, so you got all the Wall Street institutions piling in, and everybody's fine with that. But yet, now the poor people are going to get in on it, and you're going to cry foul. It's
right.
Like that guy is trying to be a gatekeeper, if anybody's gatekeeping.
Think about that. Think about that.
Yeah.
Visa is in on it. Grayscale, MicroStrategy. Governments are talking about accepting it for tax and payment. And
Yeah.
now all of a sudden, because you're opening it up to a population, to people and
Now we're
countries,
gonna cry foul.
now crying foul. Yeah. Little.
Yeah.
Now, this is another quick bullish article that Jacob sent, and we've actually talked about. I remember looking at this a long time ago, and I love this project. Now, look, not financial advice. I don't know what's going to happen with this project. Do your own research, but I love what the concept is. I love what they represent and what they're working to build. So, and it looks like they kind of might already have something. This looks kind of bullish AF. Bullish as feathers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as feathers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Bullish as feathers. Talk about lifting you higher, because collateral pay. So for people trying to find out how they can spend their digital assets, their cryptocurrency, there are a few protocols that are out there trying to find bridges, trying to find ways to take your ledger and to lock it up and to give you an opportunity to transact at the current market price for whatever that was, and being able to cash out in fiat on some level. And collateral pay, from what I understand, is people being able to use their digital assets as collateral upon which they can pay off debts that they incur with spending, or maybe not debts in a negative way. I don't mean like incurring debts, but being that as long as you've got the digital asset collateral to back it up, then there's an amount upon which you can spend fiat reserve, and they will just cash it out for you. So that is
awesome.
Huge. 8% cash back. I'm gonna let you take over, brother. Talk to me about what you found.
Okay, so my favorite part about this entire project is, in doing this, in taking on a debt, it is now a non-taxable event.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that if you weren't. Go ahead.
So, the massive thing about this whole entire project is you can collateralize your, let's say, an entire Bitcoin. I can collateralize an entire Bitcoin, and I can have it preloaded onto a card where I'm getting 8% cash back, and that Bitcoin I use as collateral, I'm still exposed to the price of that. Regardless of whether or not I pay back my debts, I still have my entire Bitcoin that's going to be given back to me, that I only have to pay the debt back of the market price that was used for collateral. Mm-hmm. So if the market price for Bitcoin that was used as collateral was at 30K and Bitcoin shoots up to 60K, I'm getting that entire value of Bitcoin back when I pay off my debts. So it's a way for you to be exposed to Bitcoin, exposed to your crypto assets, while still being able to spend them while avoiding paying hefty crypto taxes.
Wow. That is cool. So if I understand this correctly, you would then, so say ideally like the asset would appreciate over the time that you incurred the loan, or that you incurred the debt, and so then you'd have to sell out just a tiny fraction to cover that, right? Because the price goes up, so you just need less and less.
Oh yeah.
To cover the debt.
So the way it works is, if I was to, let's say Ethereum, right now it's around 2,100. If I was to use an entire Ethereum as collateral, I have to pay back that amount in fiat. Now, if Ethereum 2x's, I still have to pay off what I owe in fiat. Mm-hmm. That's not going to change, but I'm getting back the value of my Ethereum, regardless of where that value is.
Because you never spent it. You never got out of it. It was just put as collateral.
Exactly. It's just locked away until you can pay it off.
This is very exciting.
Now check this out, you guys. Something else that's very exciting that I'm always looking at this and I'm reading articles, and I do remember that Collateral was built on the Polkadot network. So just like we talked about earlier, something else was built on Cosmos and Tendermint and Polkadot. If you're curious as to why, when I look at diversifying into different communities and to support different communities, this is why. Because you're going to find strong bridges being built. on a foundational layer to allow these protocols to even exist and for them to operate on. So if you're looking at like, well, what are the, what are these building blocks of the future for blockchain and crypto? This is it. Read your articles. Find out who they're working with. Find out what they're building on. Are they working with the Graph? Are they working with Polkadot? Tendermint, Cosmos Network. You'll hear when you read the articles what these blockchain companies or the people, the teams behind these blockchain services are who they're working with. And that to me is exciting when you really start to see the GitHub, the activity between different teams working together. Speaking of, we got a quick question from Kilargo, an old buddy who's been following us for a while, and another wise owl. He's saying, wondering on Wise Ethereum pre-launch, were there any accounts not claimed? I feel I may not have collected all my coins. I would recommend going to the Telegram channel for Wise and reaching out to someone on the team. As I understand, they all got claimed, or at least there was a mechanism that allowed them to auto claim, which means that it went to your wallet. So it should be there, but I may be misspeaking. I would go to the Telegram. There's definitely a way you can check your Ethereum address. All you need to know is what your Ethereum address is, and you can still go to the site and you can still claim it. So if you think that you may have another address that you left someone claimed, it's still there. It doesn't ever get lost. So that's the good news about the smart contract like that, is that it's and man, I don't want to spend too much time on it because we can do a video on this, and we will later. But these are one of those things where what I love the most about one of the things about the Wise token is how when you have a project that's complete and solid and built and functioning, even in times when the market's going sideways or going down or consolidating, when you've got those projects that have a history of no hacks, no rug pulls, no bugs, and then they've got months and then years of operating and doing their thing and having value built on top of them. It's just kind of a sleeping giant, a sleeping dragon. It's I forgot the name of the rule, but there's something about after something's been around for like 9 or 10 years, after something has been around for X amount of years, there's this value that it has that becomes, and that's unshakable. There's a word for it. It's not network effects, it's some other rule. But when you look at something like Wise Token, you look at some of these projects, you're like, oh, okay, well, that's going to be around in 10 years, or that's a project that has a solid infrastructure and has fundamentals built to last.
Yes.
And
the Wise Token for sure, because it takes advantage of the
locked liquidity,
just the locked liquidity, yeah, and then the fact that there needs to be that the earning interest on a locked investment, the time value of money, there's a value there in like replicating a bond or replicating a CD contract,
right? That no one can pervert. It's not just
right.
replicating a time locked deposit of an asset that earns interest, but no one else can come between. It's just the person in time. And right now, I think the only thing holding it back is the network of Ethereum, how congested and how high the gas fees are to operate with that network. But beyond that, the project continues to function as designed and continues to be built. I know that we're getting close to our power hour, although we got a late start, so we absolutely can go a few minutes over considering our audio.
This was a fascinating article right here, I thought.
I think so too. That's why I kind of had to hop to it real quick, because in a way you could look at this as really being one of those, when we got excited about blockchain and crypto, it's NFTs, it's the potential of what cryptocurrency blockchain can do with non-fungible ideas. The non-fungible token space, the whether it be for jurisdiction, whether it be for, it's more than artwork identification, or what you were talking about, shifting ideas, building on ideas, creating now a space where people can kind of look at ideas and build off of them together.
Yeah, this article talks about knowledge markets is kind of how it sums it up at the end. Basically, the idea is that concepts or ideas or theories could be embedded in NFTs, and then from that you'd have an attribution, right? So whoever minted it or whatever. So you can attribute ideas to people, and then there's ways to to test things, right? And you could verify, you could upload or connect. You could create. Basically, the idea is they create an ecosystem of ideas and tests, and you get to see if the ideas pass the test or not, right? And then then that kind of creates an evolutionary discovery process that would be separate from the journals and the academic institutions that have a gatekeeping on that now. So yeah, it's kind of like an idea of decentralizing science. If I wouldn't be so bold.
I love that. Well, you think about the gatekeeping of journals, scientific journals, and how hard it's been for people to be able to break through or get ideas in. And so now it's decentralizing that the world of ideas in that sense. Academic.
And that whole process, yeah. It's worth, this whole article is worth reading. It's not one that's going to be usefully skimmed and summarized in a couple sentences.
It's rich. The whole thing is rich.
It's rich, but worth reading, I think.
And if you want to know more about NFTs, it's necessary. It's so well done that to understand how an NFT is and what it works. So we'll definitely link this article, and we'll use this article again in a more detailed video that we're going to make about NFTs, period, because I'm excited about the work going on. And I need to do a correction. I know that Jeff sent me a message on some of how the social impact will work, so I will make that edit. But man, it is definitely exciting to see what's going on with blockchain and NFTs. If you can find a good NFT project, I recommend learning about it and joining it and just going on, because it's going to be a wild ride over the next decade or plus.
That's very true.
Let me power through some stuff, you guys, because we got through most of our articles. I just want to say bullish fundamentals, despite the prices right now. I like to look at the articles that are going on. And have you seen this? Look, Plan B passports offer Bitcoin tax relief through new residents. So some countries are going to literally allow people to purchase citizenship and give them tax breaks for bringing their wealth. We've got where was this? Shucks, was it a little bit higher? No, let me refresh this page and see what else pops up. The inevitability, supremacy of Bitcoin.
That'd be fun to read.
The Schumpeterian Bitcoin cycle. By the way, speaking of fun to read, I love Selgin being mentioned in that article earlier. How much Selgin was mentioned, it was just making me crack up.
I want to watch that debate, the debate that they reference.
Bitcoin has been profitable for 96% of its life, 96%. The Plan B, how to restore our values, an open letter. I don't know what that's about. The inevitability of Bitcoin supremacy. And my point of pulling these articles
I'd like to critique that one.
Are to show you... Oh, wait, here we go. This is what I was trying to show. Major Australian broker bringing 95,000 more investors to Bitcoin trading. Spike Lee now doing a commercial for cryptocurrency ATMs, CoinCloud, some beautiful artistic commercial he's making. But my point is this: in culture and business, what does this tell you about blockchain and crypto? Do you think it's going anywhere anytime? Do you think it's about to disappear and we're at the end of it? Or are you looking at signals that it's just the beginning? You're literally just seeing people adopting,
I'd say it's time to call it. Bitcoin's dead.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it in a long time. I think it needs to be said.
Bitcoin's dead.
You heard it here. Bitcoin's dead. You heard it here first. No, you couldn't have heard it here first. Yeah, if you should have heard it here first, then you haven't been around. You heard it here for the 1,000th time. So we talked about maybe not. I'm going to just throw this down. I don't want to get too boring into the details, because the details of this would be absolutely boring. But we're talking about Grayscale in the news again. Grayscale's crypto fund becomes an SEC reporting company. Their cryptocurrency fund is now reported to the SEC, and it's one step closer to becoming a Bitcoin ETF, is the article.
Very cool.
But a major milestone, disclosed a major milestone by Grayscale, and as a digital asset manager. So again, this is just bullish news for long-term crypto adoption. Not saying what the price is going to be from this month to next, but if you're looking at where does the world stand, we talked about the Sotheby's article in the beginning. I didn't mention this, but I haven't read too much. Iota is an old school blockchain project back from 2017 ICO craze, and it's fun. I love seeing these older projects get wings and get development, and what people think were dead were just dormant.
Hmm. I
And
cashed out of Iota to get into Wise, just as full disclosure.
well, that at that time was a wise move because Iota's been sleeping,
It was.
and so, but it's cool to see the chrysalis network. I like that butterfly analogy. That's kind of neat. But it'll be cool. I mean, this is just my point is we're in the beginning. We're in the beginning. Iota is now coming out with its first, DEX and DeFi experience, and Iota's been around since 2017. It's 4 years later, and they're just coming around to this first, clunky development. Who knows what it looks like? And I'll check it out. But the point is that if you're just now learning about crypto, take your time. You're at a beautiful time. You're at the beginning. This is the beginning for a lot of blockchain projects. Just because Bitcoin and Ethereum might have been around for a decade, during that decade they were working out their kinks, and the networks were just maturing and developing, and now we're literally seeing brand new seeds, brand new chains, brand new projects being emerging and being born. So this is a great time to start to immerse yourself and just to begin to learn. It's a great time to begin to learn about crypto and blockchain. If I can do it, if I can figure out how to download a wallet and send and receive, then you can do it. That's definitely the moral of the Wise Beyond Bitcoin story.
Yes, well said, for sure. I don't
uh,
know if you saw it, but Synthetix has some news too. They're rolling out a second layer 2 launch in
well,
July.
we should definitely cover that before we uh,
Yeah,
roll
worth talking
out,
about.
because Synthetix is, well,
I'm a fan of that project.
I'm a huge fan of what they're doing on Ethereum.
Yep.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
you can buy. If people aren't who are listening don't know, you can buy synthetic digital assets that track stocks and also track cryptocurrencies on their network. They have inverse crypto purchases you can make, so you can buy something that'll go up if the underlying asset goes down. So if you feel bearish, there's some plays there.
Pro tip: you can buy any stock, and that means any trading hours at all. You don't have set times on the blockchain that you can trade or not trade. It's just always.
Right.
That's
Yep.
what's cool about Synthetix, or in DeFi in general. But if you're like you were saying, Synthetix, they've got assets that are pegged to the inverse, so
Mm-hmm.
you can short Bitcoin, or I'm sure you just got through saying this.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But
I
yeah,
know.
you're right.
I know you were saying that, and I that's why I stopped myself. But my point is that, like what Jacob was saying, when you engage in this, you're engaging in a system that's 24/7, that you're in control of. You can decide when to get in, when to get out, how much to jump in with, and so moving to a layer two that allows more people to transact seamlessly and at lower cost. This is just, it's optimistic for
Yep.
Synthetix, optimistic for Ethereum and DeFi, and optimistic for blockchain.
All in all, yes.
All in all, I think we've covered. There was one more. I just thought you might get a kick out of this guy. He's a CIO for Moskovski's Capital and Digital Assets, and I thought you might like this article that says the negative stock to flow deflection is the highest it's ever been in the whole history of Bitcoin as a buying opportunity. If you look
Nice.
at this chart right
That
here,
chart, yeah.
and
So that's basically saying that the new coin, the ratio of new coins to the stock of old coins has never been as low as it is right now.
that's right.
Is that right? Okay, yeah. Which basically is the supply and demand thing, right? So the supply of new coins coming on versus the in ratio to what's already existing in circulation is small. So we're going to be we're all going to be chasing after smaller and smaller fractions of these things as time goes on, right?
That's right. Not that we couldn't go lower, but if you look at the trend, if you think that this model will still continue to hold and is relevant, these tend to be bottoms, consolidation periods of bottoms. I mean, now look, when you see from here to here, you're looking at a whole year take place, coming from this bottom to this top, or you're looking at least half a year. I mean, this from going to here is 6 months. So even if we're kind of hitting a bottom, we could be looking at another 6 month plus move before we come up out of this.
And hit another parabolic time
for sure.
Right.
But
yeah, it's going to take time.
But it's a good place to see in the flow. It's a good place to see this position in the flow if you're looking for good technical fundamentals. Then the stock to flow model.
Yeah, I think looking at fundamentals and technicals and
together
timing it is better than just going off of like the sentiment, right? Because the sentiment, you're gonna not like the sentiment when sentiment is up and you're being your body and your mind telling you to buy something. That's probably the worst time to get it, right? Because your emotions are taking over and it's a mania or whatever is fueling it. But if you can kind of reduce all that emotion and that noise and just go off of fundamentals and try to remove your emotions from your calculus, that's going to be a better way to invest. And I think looking at metrics like that that's key.
I don't see anything popping out as far as cryptos that are kind of holding their own against the bloodletting, the consolidation. But of course, stable coins are doing really well right now. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm bullish on stable.
No. Yeah, I would like to learn more about Bitcoin SV. I don't know enough about that project, but I've heard some interesting things about what they're working to develop off the Bitcoin network. So, do you know anything about that, Jacob?
I don't.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I don't either. Okay. Well, just if you do, feel free to drop it. If you're a part of that project or know a lot about it, feel free to drop a comment. I'd love to learn more about it and share that. But
I do know that Charles Hoskins just joined a board for Ethereum Classic.
Shush! Really?
Really? Yeah, it was one of those articles on.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we can talk about that later on.
Yeah.
Open up a whole new subject, but yeah.
I got one last thing I'm just gonna drop on you guys.
You want me to pull up an article while you talk about it, brother?
Yeah. Look up planetwatch.us. I think you guys.
You're not sending me to some. You're not sending me to some site that's gonna hack all of my information and send a bug to my computer. Did you just wait a minute?
Oh no! He found out. He found me out.
Dang. Dang it.
No, actually, I found these guys out, and I think you guys will love them because of their ethics and what they're doing with the blockchain. They're using blockchain technology, and that as a ledger to be able to monitor air quality around the world.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's actually super.
Algorand Foundation is that's huge to see that. I like seeing Algorand. That's one of my favorite protocols out there. I say favorite. It's what I got a basket that I call blue chips in crypto, and I know that the whole thing is wild and volatile. But if I were to write down a list of blue chips, I would put Cardano and Polkadot and Ethereum and Algorand, certain projects like that have solid teams. You look at the people behind them and how long that have been spent building it. But that's a good sign to see that. Why become a planet watcher? Man, that's beautiful. Air pollution kills 7 million people every year. Currently, well, I don't know how to measure how air pollution kills, but I do know that breathing poor quality air is definitely lowers life expect. I mean, if you're breathing poo-poo air, you're breathing poo-poo air. It's like if you're drinking bad water.
It gets into the water and the food.
It gets into your every cell in your body. Yeah. I mean, this is huge. This is the air we breathe, man. It's So
definitely one to watch. Is there
the
piece
way
of equipment you buy? Or?
Yeah. So the way they actually want you to do it, if you click Become a Planet Watcher, and then once that loads,
and
say get a sensor, where it says no, because you need to buy a sensor and then a license for that sensor. The license is for like a period of time, so they have different types of sensors, type 1 through 4.
oh my gosh, they've got literally a sensor that you could put an indoor plant in. That's so cute. I love that.
Yeah. And what's cool about that too is it's like me personally, I'm really big into gardening and permaculture. So anything that where you've got a living soil and you've got that ecosystem going through, that's just it's
I
so
dig
awesome.
I dig it too, brother. I love that. I'm also into similar passions.
Yeah, we all have that in common.
These sensors, they go for different pollutions in the air. Some of them are different types, so they measure different pollutions at different rates. And what's cool about them is they're actually all different price ranges. So if you only have a small amount of money and you want to get into crypto, their little Type 4 miner, it's like $150, and then a license for 3 years is like $80. So it's like you spend after taxes maybe $200, $300 range.
And are you mining?
You're mining crypto for monitoring the air quality.
Wow.
Yeah, they actually have their own cryptocurrency.
Wow.
I'm still looking into this project, but I figured it'd be one to bring up. I kind of wanted to drop it on you as a surprise because I know you guys love ethical projects, and this it doesn't get better than this.
It fits the bill. Right up our alley.
I love it, brother. Good find.
Oh yeah.
That's a good way to end it.
We'll look into this some more for sure.
I think that's a good way to wrap up the week updates. We've covered a lot of really good information on here. You guys have anything else you want to drop down before we wrap it up?
No, I think that satisfies me. I don't have anything to add. Jacob?
Hold on to your coins.
Hold on. HODL. Hold on for dear life. And of course, we are going back to we'll get to it. Thank you for your patience. There's a lot happening behind the scenes. At least our new site's up for links, but we are absolutely going to revamp and update wisebeyondbitcoin.com. Check out our site. Put it in your bookmarks. We are going to be a hub, as we already are, for where do we get the news for today? If you want to check out crypto news yourself throughout the week, we got news sites. Plenty of links to show you all the latest, hottest information on blockchain popping up in the articles. Crypto metrics, check out the prices, coin market cap, and see what's happening. And of course, how you store your crypto, how do you buy crypto gateways and exchanges. We've got the information. We got some new information coming on NFTs, how to monitor, where to view NFTs, and of course, special projects that we support. And look forward to sharing that with you. But I will say thank you for sharing your time with us. We love sharing our Mondays with you, and it's a beautiful crypto summer. I'm rambling. I'm going to end my ramble with saying, until the next time, have a beautiful day and namaste. And I'll let you guys take it out from here.
Later.
And thanks for joining us on our Monday evening live stream. We'll be back next Monday, and we'll have videos between now and then. Thank you.
Done, y'all. Bye.